Tales of Mithrym.
Skeleton Crew, read by Brendan Lorenzo, Part 5, Landing Party. I tell you, I am fine, Elvin protested. Let me out of here. The ship's surgeon stood in the doorway, blocking his way. You have gashes down your arms and back. You need to rest. The sea air will do me a power of good, I am sure. Elvin shoved hard and made his way into the corridor. He crossed over to the passenger's cabin and pulled open the chest of his own supplies. His back did ache, but the rum was still masking that, and he was sure he was not going to miss an event like this. He donned his long red coat and strapped his sword and belt over it. As he straightened up to leave, there was a rustling from across the room. A man dressed in long red robes rolled his way out of a hammock and landed, rather ungracefully, on the floor. What in Ian's name is going on? The man shouted. Beg pardon, sir. Elvin drew himself up stiffly and saluted. A wizard was a wizard, and Elvin knew well enough to show proper respect. They have sighted land, and I am rather keen to join the party. Blast it, are we finally at Kanath? The robed man stood up and dusted himself off. Not quite, sir. It seems we are some leagues off of Inga. A course issue with... Damn their eyes! I will be late! The man roared and pushed his way past Elvin. As he disappeared out of the door, Elvin could hear him muttering complaints. Elvin shrugged this all off and made his way up to the deck. When he got there, he saw Derville, Ducky, and Bonnie standing, listening to the captain as she laid out the plan. Not far off the starboard, Elvin could see a small island. It must have been only a few acres, he thought. It was mostly beach, but towards the centre there rose a tall, rocky hillock. Many tropical plants were growing all over it. Coconut palm trees, mango trees, and avocado trees waved their leaves in the gentle tropical breeze. I need volunteers to go ashore, the captain was saying, and to gather what supplies we can. I've sent a boat over there already to scout it out. They should be back any minute. There's definitely fruit though, I can see that from here, and with any luck we can fish off the far side beach without upsetting anything with the ship. What we chiefly need though is any grain and any fresh water there might be. Elvin raised his hand ready to volunteer. Derville and Ducky saw him and rushed over. Before he could speak though, the wizard pushed his way through and stood in front of the captain. His face was a picture of anger and annoyance. This is all well and good, I am sure, he began in a haughty tone. But what is all this I hear about us being off course? I have a council meeting in Kanath that I must be at. Am I to take it that I will be late? Do you suppose to pay my fees to the authorities for my late arrival? This is an absolute disgrace. The captain sighed as she rubbed her forehead. Mr. Notley, Chancellor, the man roared. Chancellor Notley, I assure you, the captain continued, we will deal with everything. It is simply not good enough, the Chancellor continued. I demand... With a heavy sigh, the captain gestured towards her cabin. Come with me, Chancellor. I am sure we can work something out. She led him away. Turning back, she called to the first mate. Keep an eye out, number one, and handle things from here, will you? Aye, sir, the first mate called back. The two made their way, and most of the crew tittered as they heard the Chancellor's angry yelling even through the door. None of that, the first mate barked. Captain's dealing with things. You lot should be too. Just then, cries of ahoy were heard from down in the water. The small boat of scouts had returned, and they hurriedly made fast a rowing boat and climbed up onto the deck. You won't believe it, sir, one of the scouts said excitedly. What do you mean? The first mate barked as he walked over to him. I mean, there's a cache, sir, he panted as he caught his breath from the hurry back. An old one by the looks of it. No sign of anyone about. There's rum and gin and wine. Another of the scouts broke in. That there is, sir, she shouted. And there's salted fish and wheat and all sorts. Cheers erupted from the assembled crew. Are you sure, lad? The first mate looked incredulously at the scouts, then he sighed and mopped his brow. I don't deny that's a strong bit of luck we've had if you're right. Praise Ibis, shouted several of the crew together. Well, who am I to argue with the will of the crafters? The first mate looked out over the crew. I need 3 boats for heavy lifting in that case. Strongest forward. There was a scurrying of crew as they all prepared for the landing. Elvin made his way through the mayhem to the first mate. Sir, he called, are you absolutely sure this cache is going to be unguarded? I trust my scouts, Lieutenant, the first mate scowled. Sure enough, Elvin said, in what he hoped was a reassuring tone. I just mean, do you want anyone, perhaps, to go too and just make sure everyone is, well, safe? The first mate looked him up and down. You look strong, so do your friends. If you want to volunteer, then go jump on the boats. But don't you worry, He holstered a wand to his belt. The barrel seemed to crackle with white-blue sparks. I'm coming to keep him safe. Elvin watched the first mate walk off, barking orders to the crew as they prepared the boats. Come on then, Elvin said excitedly, turning to Ducky and Derville. I thought you were supposed to be resting, Derville scowled. What, and miss a chance to explore a desert island? He winked. Not on your life.
Tales of Mithrym are written by Jimmy Clephane. Mithrym is a fantasy world built for the Dungeon Room role-playing game system. To find out more about the world of Mithrym, or to try out the game, go to www.mithrym.com.